that should be our whole motive for giving, is worshiping Him through that way also. So let's go to the Lord in prayer.
We come here today, Lord, thank you for all you have done for us. We bring a portion of what you have done for us and give it back to you that it might be used to take care of your work on this earth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. You may be seated.
looked over her shoulder and whispered, "Can we leave them at home?" "Yes, Papa will watch the little ones. You and I can go home." "We will go find God. I will see how He gave us Christmas." "Yes, little cub, you shall see how God gave us Christmas." The next morning, little cub and Mama filled their packs, kissed their family goodbye, and set off to find God and see how He gave them Christmas. They walked to the top of one mountain and down the next. Looks like they're having a good time. And up another mountain where they set up camp. Little cub was so tired that she went right to sleep. But Mama nudged her while it was still dark. "Mama, why are you waking me up?" "Because it's God, little cub. Come see." "What is that?" little cub asked in wonder as she watched the dancing lights in the sky. "That is God at work, little cub. He sent His only Son as a baby so that we would know light from dark. Jesus is the light of the world. Jesus is how God gave us Christmas." Y'all know what this is? This is called the Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights. Miss Marcy wants to see me so bad, but it's too cold in Alaska. The next day, they arrived at a huge lake. All at once, with a mighty roar, a chunk of ice cut away from the shield and fell into the sea. "What is that?" little cub asked, covering her ears and leaning into Mama. "That is God, little cub. He is so powerful, He can command the water to freeze and the glacier to melt. He is mightier than any king on earth, and because He is all-powerful, He made Jesus King of all kings." "But Jesus was just a baby. How could He be a king?" "All kings begin as babies. God knew we would need someone we could touch and see and smell." Mama paused to sniff little cub's neck, making her giggle, to understand just how much He loved each one of us. Mama woke little cub again before the sun came up. She pointed to the east at a star that changed from green to red to green again and shot out in many points. "Is that at God again?" little cub asked, rubbing her eyes. "Yes, Jesus. It's called the bright morning star. He is always with us, and He first came when God gave us Christmas." "But what about Santa?" little cub asked. "Did God give us Santa?" Santa Claus reminds us about many good things like generosity and care, but it is God and Jesus that we celebrate most on Christmas. We always want to thank God for giving us Christmas. On the way home, Mama Bear stopped by a tiny flower peeking up from the hard frozen ground. "Oh, you are too early, little flower," she said. "Little cub, Jesus is like this flower. God in our world, living where you wouldn't expect Him, surprising us. Christmas is a lot about surprises." "Like presents." "Yes, Jesus is the best present of all, and God would have given us that present, even if it was only for you. Only for me, only for you, little cub. God gave About the night God first gave us Christmas, when Jesus was born. Tomorrow is Christmas Day. Would Jesus have come for mean old Maggie the Moose, or grumpy old Frankie the Fox? Little Cup whispered. Maggie, Frankie, any of us. Jesus is a present for everyone, grumpy or happy, mean or kind. God gave us all Christmas. Little Club was glad to be back at home that night in her cozy bed. Thanks for showing me God, Mama. There isn't anything I'd rather do, sweet child, she said with a kiss. Night-night. Little Cub went to sleep and dreamed of bright stars and northern lights, of a king born as a tiny baby, and angels singing over him. And woke up to Christmas. Yahoo! She cried. God gave us Christmas again. So, I wanted to read this to you to let you know that it doesn't matter. God's always there. In the stars, in the sky, in a tree, and have some. Mr. Ricky helped me pick these out because he said, even these creatures need love too. So, y'all can come pick one out. Don't be scared because they're not real. He said even lizards and bugs need love too. So y'all can pick one out. No, and there's even dinosaurs. So y'all reach in there. Because evidently there was a reason that God made the bugs and the dinosaurs. Dinosaur and this, oh, this is my favorite. Grasshopper. Thank y'all for letting me tell you the story. And thank y'all for letting me tell the story.
Yeah, we're not letting you. Here, guys.
Got it? Got it?
This is an ornament. This one is the wise man. And these are the ones that we got last week. Rice, I had something else.
You got your hands full.
All right, we lit a candle last week. What was that candle representing? Hope. That's right. We'll light one this week. What does that represent? Faith. Some people say love. That represents faith. I don't know if any of you have watched these movies, 1947 and 1994. Miracle on 34th Street. Y'all watch those? Black and white one or the color one? That's usually the way it goes. You watch either one of those. But the whole premise of that is, of course, it revolves around Santa Claus, and they're asking about basically believing. In the 47 version, you have a little girl. She wanted to see if Santa Claus was real, and she's waiting, and she goes, I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe, and she goes trying to work that out, wanting to see if he will bring something. And then in the later version, 1994 version, they're basically Santa Claus is being put on trial, and the head of the story says, you need to ask yourself, do you believe in Santa Claus? Y'all seen those, right? I will not tell you how they end. I will not be the spoiler. But anyway, you're talking about believing. And basically, when you talk about believing, it's accepting as true. Basically, you feel sure of the truth. And when you believe something, you just know. We'll look at three characters very quickly in the Christmas story. First, we'll look at Zacharias. He was a priest serving in the temple. He went there to perform his duty, and then while he was there, an angel showed up. And he said, what is going on? And he was speechless. And then the angel said, I have come from God. And this is the announcement. Remember Zacharias and Elizabeth? They were a couple. They had gone for years. No children whatsoever. That is looked at as a curse. If the woman cannot have any children. They do that in Tanzania. If a woman cannot have children, we've seen it, where the man would just, I'm getting rid of you, and I'll find somebody that can have kids, because you can't have any. And so, Elizabeth, Zechariah, they did not have kids. So, angel shows up, temple says, all right, Zacharias, this is what's going to happen. Your wife's going to have a baby. And this baby's name is going to be John. And he's going to be the forerunner of Jesus Christ, Emmanuel, God with us. And he's going to basically pave the way. And of course, Zacharias, he's listening to all this, and then he starts looking logically at the situation. And he asks, he says, how can I know this? Zechariah asked the angel, for I am an old man, and my wife is well along in years. Now, he stated the fact, but the first part of what he said, how can I know this? Basically, how can I believe this? And the angel who was there, now, I don't know how this looked, but I bet you that angel stood up just as straight as he could stand, and he says, I am Gabriel, who stands in the presence of God. And I was sent to speak to you and tell you this good news. And he said, now listen. You will become silent, unable to speak, until the day these things take place. And here's the key phrase, because you did not believe my words. So, from that point on, Zacharias couldn't talk because he didn't believe at first the angel. Then we look at Mary. Gabriel's a busy time of year for Gabriel this time. Mary, at home or wherever she was, Gabriel came to Mary. And he says, hey, you are blessed among all women. Now what if y'all were sitting in the kitchen cooking and an angel showed up at your place? What would you think? Have a cookie. You wouldn't know. But anyway, so Gabriel came and he said, all right, you are favored among women. And she became the Bible says, deeply troubled at this statement. Man, what is going on? Basically, she's saying, all right, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. What is going on? Didn't your kids do that? Oh, Mom, Dad, you're so great. You're fantastic. All right, what do you want? What did you do now? What's going on? Then the angel told her, don't be afraid. You found favor with God. This is what's going to happen. You are going to conceive, give birth to a son. You'll name him Jesus. He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. And the Lord God will give him the throne of his father David. He will reign over the house of Jacob forever, and his kingdom will have no end. How'd you like that news to be dropped on you? An engaged, not married yet, young lady. You're going to have a son, Jesus, king forever. Now, Mary responded, she responded to this whole statement. I'm surprised she had enough about her to respond to this statement. And she said, how can this be? I have not been with a man. I've not had sexual relations with any man anywhere. How is this going to happen? Now, you notice, she didn't doubt the word. She just wanted to know, hey, I haven't done anything, like that. And how in the world is this going to happen? And finally, the angel said, the Holy Spirit's going to come upon you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. Therefore, the Holy One to be born will be called the Son of God. That's how it's going to happen. And then he started talking about Elizabeth. Here's what's happened to your cousin Elizabeth. And basically, after Mary starts to process all this, this was her answer. I am the Lord's servant. May it be done to me according to your word. Now, Zechariah didn't believe at first what the angel said. Mary, after listening, she believed. That was her response. So she believed when it first came out. Then, last person. I'm going to be finished in like 6 minutes, okay? Or did I say 60? I get mixed up sometimes. Anyway. We have the, all right, all this has been set. And then we see in Matthew chapter 2, we see these guys we call, I like this, some people call them the wise guys, the 3 wise guys, 3 wise men. It's like a little boy in East Texas. They had a contest, Christmas, drawing pictures, things of this nature at a school. Little boy drew a picture and he won one of the prizes. So the principal's looking at it, and he looked at the picture, and he noticed that, the guy drew a picture of Mary, Joseph, baby Jesus, 3 wise men coming. But he looked over in the corner, and there was a fire truck right over there in the corner. And, a fire truck. So the principal asked him, he said, son, good picture, you won an award. He said, tell me about the fire truck. He said, what are you talking about? Why is that fire truck there? And the young boy, in his heavy East Texas accent, he said, well, they come from afar. All right, you got it. Good. Another lady teaching in a daycare, talking about the story, Christmas story. And she said, okay, who are the people that came to visit Jesus? And the little boy said, the 3 maggots. And she goes, oh. And she corrected him, the 3 magi. And she said, well, what were the gifts that they brought? He goes, I know, gold, Frankenstein, and Smurfs. True. But anyway, the wise men came, and they were looking for Jesus. Follow the star. Now, these guys probably came from around Persia. Daniel chapter 5, verse 11, Daniel was familiar with these guys. And they looked at the stars, they did astronomy, they looked at this, and they were following the star. They showed up, and they came basically to the palace, to Herod, and said, hey, we've been following this star. And we've been studying the Hebrew Scriptures. And it says the king is going to be born. We follow this star. We've come to worship the king. Herod goes, say, what? What's going on around here? And then he calls in the guys, the scribes, the Pharisees, the Sadducees. He said, hey, do you hear what these guys are saying? Can you shed some light on this? What's going on? And these guys, they probably said, a matter of fact, they quoted Micah 5, verse 2. Oh, yeah, we know all about that. The king coming here thinks, says, yeah, Micah wrote, Bethlehem Ephratah, you are small among the clans of Judah. One will come from you to be ruler over Israel. For me, his origin is from antiquity and from eternity. Oh, yeah, we knew about that. That's what the Bible says. That's what the Scriptures say. Herod's probably thinking, now, why didn't you tell me this before? Here's these guys on my doorstep looking for this king. December 1903, after many attempts, the Wright brothers, Orville and Wilbur, were successful in getting their flying machine off the ground at Kitty Hawk. Thrilled over the accomplishment, they telegraphed this message to their sister Catherine. "We have actually flown 120 feet. We'll be home for Christmas." Catherine hurried to the editor of the local newspaper and showed him the message. He glanced at it and said, "How nice, the boys will be home for Christmas." He totally missed the message of men first flying. Can you imagine the exclusive story he had the chance to run? Totally missed it. And that's what a lot of people, what's happening is they totally miss it. The wise men were demonstrating faith. They were following the star. They said, "We've studied this. We believe this. Here we are." We basically are saying we believe this, but we're saying it with our actions. And so, are we like Zechariah? What? Nah. What are you saying? That we can't do that. And Zechariah and Gabriel said, "All right, I'm going to show you. And this is how I'm going to show you." Mary heard the news, and she believed and said, "I'm the Lord's servant, the slave. Be it unto me as you have said." The wise men, studying, followed the star and said, "Hey, we're here. Where is he? We've come to worship him." Believing. Basically, you know that it's true. In the newer version, same movie, Miracle on 34th Street. The mother, the daughter, they don't quite believe. They think this guy, Kris Kringle's kind of lost it up here. And they're worried because he's representing this store to all these people. And so this is the conversation. Kris Kringle, you think I'm a fraud, don't you? And the mother, fraud's a bit too strong of a word. Kris, but you don't believe in me. Mother, I believe that Christmas is for children. Kris, well, your daughter doesn't believe in me either. The mother, I don't think that there's any harm in not believing in a figure that many do acknowledge to be fiction. Kris goes, oh, but there is. I'm not just a whimsical figure who wears a charming suit and affects a jolly demeanor. I'm a symbol. I'm a symbol of the human ability to be able to suppress the selfish and hateful tendencies that rule the major part of our lives. And then he goes on, this is what I want you to focus on. If you can't believe, if you can't accept anything on faith, then you are doomed for a life dominated by doubt. If you can't accept anything on faith, then you're doomed for a life dominated by doubt. I'm not talking about Santa Claus. I'm talking about God and what He's doing. And we're celebrating this season. We need to believe and not only just say it, but follow through with action. Do you believe? Do you really believe? We're talking about basically we have hope. You need to believe that. Because if you don't believe it, then how, when we share it with others, how can people even take us seriously if we don't believe